Hello, y'all. I'm going to talk today about how to research colleges when you can't go visit the campus. So, you got online resources, and we're going to talk about them. So, a lot of times, one that students will use a lot is the College Board. And so, one way to research colleges on the College Board, we're going to go there first. So on the College Board, a lot of the college websites pull a lot of, or college research websites use the same information from the colleges, something from the common data set that colleges have, and they have to produce every single year. So you're going to see some similar information, but it's just like slightly different versions. College Board I don't love, but people use it a lot, so I'm going to start with it. College Search. I'll show you about my favorites if you watch the rest of the video. So, College Search. Oh, is it going to make me sign in? I'm going to be so annoyed. No, it's not. Okay, great. So you have 3,825 options. Ooh. Choose a category and let's find the right ones. Will help you along, right? And they've also got interactive guides, which I think are helpful. So, down here we've got, we've got this test score selectivity, type of school, location, campus housing, blah, 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 blah. Now, the more things you select off, the smaller your group will be. And the more wide you go, the bigger. So let's just look at for example, type of school, right? So most BSEC students are going to a 4-year school. Let me see, I'm going to try a different little thing out here. Going for a 4-year school. And so suddenly now we only now have 2,278 results because that's how many 4-year schools are in the country. So let's say we want public and private. We don't want for-profit because those folks will mess with you. I don't even like that they're on here, quite honestly. All right, so let's say now we only have almost 2,000 results, so we're getting down here. And then now school size, okay? Small, medium, large. Now people think that BSEC is a small school. BSEC is not a small school, y'all. There are less than 700 students that go to BSEC, which means we are a teeny school. Okay, teeny. But let's say you want a small school, right? Because you know that you like small classes and interactions with your faculty. You like that they know you and you liked it. Zora sees you in the hallway and knows your name, and your CTO advisor knows your name, and all those things. So small school, and let's say we want a co-ed, meaning all genders on campus, right? And no religious affiliation. So suddenly, how many do we have? We only have 774. That's not so bad. Okay, so now let's look. And they give a little description of each, which I think is good, right? So school size, right? So thinking about how school size matters, is a thing. So now we're going to look at location. Now let's say that you want to look, you want to kind of be in maybe different regions. So maybe you want to look into the South because you bold like that. Okay. We're going to keep that out. And then maybe we also want to look in the Midwest, and we're going to look in the Mid-Atlantic, which is what we are. We are the Mid-Atlantic. Okay, so how many are we at now? Oh, we're only at 517. Whew. And then find colleges outside of the U.S. You can look for some of that stuff, right? Campus housing. Now, if you're going to go away from home, you want to make sure you have housing. And then what the setting is. So rural, suburban, and urban. Now, these categories mean something, right? So urban, you think New York City. New York City is a megatropolis. New York, LA, Chicago. Really, that's about it. Those are giant-ass cities. And when they say urban, they might be talking about Philly. They might be talking about Cleveland. And that means it is a city, but it's not really, New York level. So you got to think about, what does urban mean to you? What does it matter, right? And what's going to make you feel comfortable? Are you ready for, a change of scene? I mean, I grew up in Queens. I was really ready for a change of scene, so I went all the way to Iowa at Grinnell. You can see my little Grinnell sign back there. I keep it real small. So I would have put rural, right? I wanted rural. Just using me as an example, right? Most students live on campus. Most students commute. I think in this case, we want to say most students live on campus, sorry. On-campus housing must be guaranteed for first-year students. Now, so that's important. You want to make sure, do I have housing? Is that going to be okay? Because if I'm going to live away from my family, I got to have somewhere to live. So suddenly, we only have 128 schools. Shoot. Okay. We're getting here. Now, special housing options, right? So we've got co-ed housing, all men housing, all women housing, apartments for married students. So there's some of those. Fraternity housing, social housing for disabled students, special housing for international students, wellness housing, alcohol, drug, smoke-free, right? Cars for freshmen. That's a thing, right? So that doesn't matter to me, so I'm going to leave it there. Majors in learning environment, right? So some majors are going to be at all schools, like psych, bio, right? That's not going to really help you. But if you have a very specific major, maybe you want to look there. Study option, right? Double major. Okay, I want to be able to double major. I want to see if there's an honors program. I want to be able to study abroad. And then here we got distance learning, English as a second language, liberal arts career combo. You can kind of play around with which one is, which one is important to you. So now we're at 83 results. Woof, woof. Now let's get down to, maybe we look at additional support programs. Okay, do they have services for low-income students? That's important, right? Services for minority students, right? Now we're only at 15. Lord, what does that even mean? That's so wild, right? So maybe we start looking at the options that we do have. So let's start doing that. So what do we got here? Yeah? What do we got? So we're going to save selection. Oh, close. So now we've got some schools here that we might start to look at. And once I'm logged in, I'll be able to see them. But I'm not logged in right now. So we've got Knox College, Keuka College, some schools you might not have heard of. So you might need to start looking there. All right, so the cost of college work. What are some resources that Lenny likes? I really, in addition to Naviance, right? Naviance is super rad for helping for visit funds. Other resources that I like, so I like the College Scorecard. Googling College Scorecard, easiest way to get to it. And it is the federal government's website on researching schools. So you can choose degrees for your degree. Okay, let's say I want to look for an engineering degree. And the location, let's say I want to be in New York. I just want to be in New York. Or no, lies. I want to be, fine. I want to be in New York, right? I'm trying to get y'all to be a little more brave. But maybe I'll add some states. Maybe I'll add some of the other I'll have any more regions, right? And sometimes you can do a radius of how far you want to go from home. So that's helpful to think about. Size. Say I want to go medium. And then you can also search by name, like if for a specific school, but you can also go to advanced search. So again, we want to say public, private, nonprofit. We want to stay away from for-profit. Any mission. So these are some specific things. Okay, I want to look at predominantly Black institutions that provide engineering degrees, right? So finding schools. Okay. So we got 0 results. We now need to re-up. There's something that I put down that maybe is based on the location that didn't work, right? So maybe I select any. I got programs, right? And then I go back. Click that off, and then I just think advanced search, and then I think we'll see what comes up. All right, so now some schools comes up, right? And so we can see some information about them. I've already got some schools here that I've got listed, so we're gonna look at some of the schools that you may have heard of, and we're gonna compare them. Because it'll compare Columbia, CUNY, NYU, and Stony Brook, based on average cost, graduation rate, salary after attending. Ooh, that's a big deal, y'all. So you can go in and put in any schools you want, right? If you go back to search results and I just look for one school, if I want to look for the name of my school, right, and I'm just going to look for Grinnell, where I went. I want y'all to go to Iowa. Let's see what happened. Oh, I can, because somehow the results, I got to make sure, they don't have engineering. That's why. Oh, find schools, Grinnell. Something's going on with the search. This happens a lot, right? Where you're like, wait, I don't know what ended up, why I can't find the school. Because Grinnell is not a predominantly black institution. I already had that selected off. Some of the students get frustrated and then they look for stuff and then they can't find it and they get really mad. So let's see, we can click on Grinnell as an example. You can do any school and they'll say, this is the map, right? It's a 4-year private in a town. I would say it's like pretty rural and it's small, right? Average annual cost, graduation rate. So graduation rate, anyone would guess what the graduation rate in the United States of America is? It is under 50%. It's like 46%. And that's on a 6-year scale. So Grinnell is doing 86%, which is pretty good. Salary after attending, $49,100. So it can go more in depth on the cost, like how much it might cost different families. Financial aid and debt, right? All of that stuff. Typical debt after graduation. Graduation retention. So this is an important number. How many students return after their first year because they're either able to and they're happy, or their financial aid is enough, right? Like they're being supported enough to return. Earnings after school, student body, right? So 100% of the students are full-time. There's 22% of students who are Pell eligible, right? 52% white. So this is a predominantly white institution. How might that feel as a student, right? How might that impact your experience at the school, right? SAT, ACT score. So that's where you can look at, am I in range, right? And academic programs, you can see what are the most common. So 24% social sciences, 17% biological and biomedical sciences, right? And all of it down the line, right? Just because it's 8%, like the comp sci program at Grinnell is really hardcore, but only 8% of students are doing it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not a good program. It just means it's not as common. And then these are the programs that are available. So this is another tool that you can use in researching schools. So another of my favorite tools, and I'm just going to get a book right now, see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, I'm going to make myself bigger. Is, I'm coming back, I swear. The FISC Guide. I love the FISC Guide, y'all. We have copies in the library. So you can open it up and read about all these schools. I'm just going to see what I opened up to. I opened to the University of Chicago. I'm going to read a little bit. Story time. Traditionally known as a haven for true intellectuals who enjoy nothing more than the chance to debate a fresh idea, the Common Core remains the intellectual heart of the school, but Chicago is working to shed its traditional sense of institutional modesty, along with its reputation as the place where fun comes to die. So that was his reputation. Recent investments in dormitory life, the arts, and athletic facilities, coupled with more aggressive recruiting, have helped attract a growing number of Ivy caliber applicants, including first-generation undergrads. Quarter system can be stressful. So what did I learn from that? I learned that these students are no joke. They really study hardcore. And I learned that also they got the quarter system. The quarter system means they're taking classes 4 times a year. And they're short. Now, on one hand, that can sound like, oh, cool, they're easy. But actually, you got to do all the coursework smushed into one. That's a big deal, right? I'm going to look back on these other pages, and I see data here about admissions rate, right? So admissions rate at University of Chicago is 8%. Damn. I also see data here on enrolled, right? So how many enrolled from who are admitted? 64% of people who are admitted enrolled. Returning freshmen, 99%, so that's pretty good. It's doing good. Strong programs, econ, natural science, mathematics, poli-sci. I open up to another page, right? And I get Hood College, which I don't even know any about. It's in Maryland, right? And this is with 15 years of co-education under its belt, Hood has made noteworthy strides towards building a fully co-ed environment, because I think it used to be a single-sex college. Male enrollment is now nearly 40%, a major asset. Hood's strategic location, 1 hour from DC and Baltimore. Hood's distinctive core curriculum stresses thematic study, big on technology. So I didn't know anything about Hood, but I just opened up to a page and I got to learn something, right? And find a place that might be a good fit for me. So I absolutely love the FISC Guide. I can't talk enough about it. It's so great. So I'm going to make myself small again. Other resources. This guy, this ugly guy. these wintergreen binders and have all this very specific data about schools that you can come in and look at in the CTO. All right, now we're going back to online. So some websites like niche.com, right, where you can start to review what students say about the schools, right? That is, that can be helpful. It can also be like, it's reviews from students. So that person who goes online and makes a review. You got to take it with a grain of salt. So I'm here, and suddenly they say the number one best colleges in America. They come up with all sorts of lists. How they come up with this list? It's worth looking at. How do they come up with these lists, right? What do they mean by that? Here you've got sponsored posts. You got to be really careful about that, because that means that the college paid for that, and so you're seeing it because of that. Doesn't mean it's not a good place. It just means you're seeing it because of that. So we've got a list here. So let's click. So let's not just look at this list. Let's look at, okay, let's say you want to, we can go by best value, right? Right. So let's click on Duke, right? And so they're going to give grades for different things. Overall grade A+, academics, value, campus, party scene, diversity, all in the eye of the beholder, right? And then it gives a little description here. Best college for student athletes, best college in environmental science, best value college in America. So they got a 10% acceptance rate. We're going with the highest selected today. Application deadline, SAT range, right? All of this stuff. I would ignore all of this stuff, because all this stuff is just basic generic information about college, high school. It's basically useless information. People might say like chance me or whatever, but unless you're just comparing it via Naviance to data in Naviance, it's not that helpful. So now we're talking about cost, right? The net price. That's not the actual cost, but the net price to students. How much? So for students and families who make $30,000 to $48,000 a year, it costs $827,000 a year. $827,000. That's it. So they got some pretty significant financial aid. They meet 100% of need. Then it talks about faculty. 33% of students agree that the workload is easy to manage. So that's a pretty tough place to be, right? Also talks about most popular majors, right? Econ, computer science, public policy analysis, biology. So do you think there's like a lot of people at Duke walking around being like talking about poetry a whole lot? Maybe not, right? Because a lot of people are interested in econ, computer science, public policy analysis. Those are the big majors. Engineering, right? It's very kind of pre-professional. Full-time undergraduates, right? What are the words that they use to describe this? This is, I think, a really, really helpful tool for you, right? So ambitious, well-rounded, and tired. Does that sound like BSEC students? It kind of does a little bit. What's one word that you would use best to describe your school? Prestigious, ambitious, and superior. Damn. And boundless opportunity. That's intense. Those are reputation above all. You will not be nurtured in the right fast pace. So that's intense. So does that resonate for you? Does that feel good, right? Graduation rate, 95%. The national average is 49%, right? Employed within 2 years, 94%. Median earnings 6 years after graduation is $77,900. Now you notice you saw that on other websites too, right? But here it is on Niche again, because they got the same data. These are student reviews. They're helpful to a certain extent. I wouldn't use them as like gospel, but they can be helpful. So anyway, that is some tools that you can use to research colleges, and there's no excuse not to. So get on it. Oh, and that doesn't even include Naviance, where you can see the scattergrams, but we already looked at those. So, have a good day, y'all.